It's a big week of travel milestones for our son Crusoe as he meets his first elephants. And not just any old elephants, these are rare Namibian desert-adapted elephants, so they're pretty special for mum and dad too. He also makes friends with some members of the Namibian Himba tribe, which is quite a busy week for a 9-month-old. We visit a fallen forest of petrified trees which are more than 250 million years old, before doing a little souvenir shopping at a special store on the side of the road. If you haven't already checked out our Patreon page, please do pop over and check it out. There's a lot of exclusive content waiting for you, and we'd like to say a very special thank you to our patrons for their never-ending support. We are the Newbies, a family of travel adventurers on a mission to make our minutes and seconds matter. I'm Tara, born and raised in Africa and obsessed with wild things and wild places. This is John. He's lived a life on the road and has visited 163 countries. And this is our son Crusoe, who has ambitions to get to 100 countries before he goes to school. He's going to need our help with that, so hit that subscribe button and join us every Sunday as we discover our extraordinary world as a family, teaching us all to be brave, think big, and to explore. We are on our way to Damaraland and Mawani mountain camp, which is an area which is home to the desert-adapted elephants of Namibia. Now, there's only 650 of them, so seeing them is really lucky. But if seeing the horses is anything to go by, then fingers crossed we might see Namibia's desert-adapted elephants.
Yeah. So last week, it was last week, wasn't it? The week before last, we were checking out the desert-adapted horses. It's like everything's adapted to desert around here. I've got no idea why. Weird.
What are we doing, darling?
Oh, we just came past a campsite and a restaurant with a bunch of local people hanging out on the outside. Look at the kids, man. That's cool, isn't it? We don't want to stop, but we want to say hello. Hello. How are you?
As parents, we're keen to ensure that Crusoe meets as many people and interacts with as many different cultures as possible. So handing your baby out of the window to a bunch of strangers might look a little startling, but if you've been following our journey, you'll likely remember that since Crusoe was a very young baby, he's been cuddled and loved by everyone, from Portuguese grandmothers and South African flight attendants to Jordanian Bedouin. This is how we want our little boy to learn about people and how to be brave.
That's such a day. Hello. Yeah. Love it. Really, I love it.
The Himba are an ancient Namibian tribe with a current population of about 50,000 people. Semi-nomadic and pastoral, these women are covered in butterfat with an ochre pigment, which helps protect them from the harsh, dry climate of the desert and also from insect bites. The red mixture is said to symbolize Earth's rich red color and the blood that symbolizes life. A fascinating culture, and one that we'd love to have some more time with one day.
Very exciting always to meet the locals, and of course when we do and we have a nice photograph and a little bit of a chit chat, it always costs a little bit of money. It's possible. Yeah. I have no problem with paying a little bit of money to, these guys are out here and they don't see very much and they don't have an opportunity to earn too much money anyway. So I'm delighted to have met the locals. That's really exciting.
That was cool. I'd love to have known where they've come from, where they went, but they didn't speak English and we don't speak Himba. So.
No elephants yet though, no elephants.
Oh, this sign on the left is very exciting. That, friends, is an elephant. I think, hands down, in fact I don't even think, I know, hands down, the very, very best campsite I have ever been to.
Even that one in Wales?
Way better than the one in Wales. It's spectacular.
And we'll be having a drink in the lodge a little bit later.
We will, and the lodge is just exquisite. What a treat. This camp is called Mawani Mountain Lodge, located far from anywhere but close to where the desert-adapted elephants are known to be. Often, campsites like this in Namibia are paired with a lodge, and Mawani is no exception. So after a long, adventurous drive, we headed for some real 5-star comfort and that pint John so coveted. Crusoe rolling around on some very fancy soft furnishings before turning in for an early night under the stars. Do you want to go see an elephant? Yeah? Do you want to go see an elephant? But here's the thing, my boy. It's not just any old elephant. It's a desert-adapted elephant. Yeah? 20 to 6, the sun starts to peep over the hills, and we've got a date. So, are you very excited?
He is. So we are waiting for the local guide from the lodge to drive down with his guests to go in search of elephants, and they've said that we can't really go on the game drive with them because Crusoe's just a little bit too noisy, and we think it's a 4.5 hour game drive, so I think he's probably going to get a bit tired after an hour or so.
In an open vehicle as well, so
yeah, exactly. So Crusoe's gonna do the driving in our own vehicle to start off with, and then he's probably gonna have a bit of a nap in the back there, and then when we find the elephants we'll wake him up so we can all have a good look. But very kind, the lodge has said we can follow their game vehicle because they know where the elephants are.
Yeah,
so
it's not something they usually do at all, so they really have done us a huge favour.
Massive favour.
And we're off. The guide has driven past us and we've set off in hot pursuit.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure whether actually he was expecting us to be here.
No, he waved at us very friendly, but he didn't really
acknowledge the fact that we were coming after him. But
no, but
anyway,
on we go.
On we go. What do you see, darling?
Nothing, because Crusoe's making the binos jiggle. Let's see. Water tanks.
Never mind. Water tanks, it's a start.
They're big and grey.
So we've just come onto a riverbed, and it's on the riverbeds that the elephants are usually found. Although, of course, this doesn't look much like a... There's elephant dung.
We just drove past elephant dung.
Very good.
They are here somewhere.
They are here somewhere. There's more elephant dung. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it looks pretty new as well, doesn't it?
I would say not that new, but it's definitely not ancient either. It's very dry.
Tara's a bit more of a professional when it comes to safari than I am.
I've spent many a year on safari, that's all. Far from a guide or anything like that though, but know a little bit about what we're looking for. Tell you what, for me, this is a very special day, and for John, but I just can't wait for our little boy to see his first elephant. I'm so excited.
Big moment.
It's a big moment.
This is the thing about being out on safari, is you never know what you're going to see, or if you're going to see what you've come out to see. I'm kind of reminded of going out to see the horses in the Namib Desert down when we were in Luderitz and Kolmanskop, the ghost town. And we had to try 3 times that day before we saw them. Now we don't have 3 times to try today.
No, we don't.
So we're going to have to...
We do have a Tosha up the road.
We do. We will see elephants in Etosha, but they won't be these very special desert adapted elephants.
Yeah, it'll be quite different.
I'm really, really, really hoping we see them.
I see some more elephant dung over there. So there are signs that they're around somewhere. We just have to wait and see.
It's getting a wee bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's like being in Sossusvlei again.
We're kind of bottoming out on this big mound of sand in the middle of the road, and I kind of these visions of us getting stuck and then the guide just kind of disappearing into the riverbed. No way to tell him that we need help. So let's not get stuck. Okay, driver?
Let's not get stuck.
So we've just driven up and down riverbeds looking for the elephants. And then we've come here to some sort of obscure village.
There are a couple of water tanks.
Water tank. And there are 2 of Namibia's desert adapted elephants. How incredible.
Desert adapted. Because they know where to find water.
Yeah.
Smart cookies.
Whenever I come back to Africa, the moment that really makes my soul sing is the first time I see an elephant again. It just fills my cup completely.
I think they're one of my favourite animals.
They are my favourite, for sure. It genuinely always just feels like such an honour to be in their presence.
They've always got a smile on their face, don't they?
So you're missing out, mate.
Little man's just woke up.
Come sit.
Chris, there's an elephant up there. Look.
Other way.
Other way. Look the other way.
Come, baby. Come.
Elephants.
What's that?
What is it? What's that out there, Crusoe?
Can you see the elephant, my baby? Come. Come see. I know. Isn't it exciting? A horsey. Looks like that's goodbye to these 2 for now.
Yeah.
Have a good day, folks.
Look at that though. It's so weird to see an elephant with the sand dune in the background.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are literally right in a riverbed.
We are, and it's really deep sand as well. So let's
It's very bumpy.
hope that we've
Oh.
learned our lessons from Sossusvlei.
What is quite fun is the people in the vehicle in front of us keep looking back at all the gnarly bits to make sure that we've made it through.
Yeah.
Okay, we're being seriously tested here. Don't go too fast, darling, because that's a big lump. he's going to wait to see if we get through. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, well done.
Oh, that was fun. Like a little bit of a...
There's some serious off-road driving. Up ahead, we've got more elephants. And a giraffe.
A giraffe as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's so cool.
Look at these, man.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And the giraffe on the right.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's so flipping cool.
That's very, very cool, isn't it?
We're heading back off into the dunes.
We are. Gnarly old ride again.
Do you know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this sand blows up from Sossusvlei.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
That's fun.
That is fun.
Well, that was a pretty cool way to start an adventure up here in the northern part of Namibia.
Yeah.
Rumbling along the riverbeds. Crusoe likes to make a noise as we rumble along. That kind of noise. But we're heading out of this riverbed now and saying goodbye to the elephants.
Just for the moment.
Just for the moment. We will be heading up to Etosha fairly soon. But first, we're heading to
Petrified trees.
petrified trees. They are 280 million years old.
How cool is that?
Okay, so we've just pulled in. Crusoe's getting his sun cream treatments, and we've also been told that we must have a guide. I'm not sure I want a guide.
You might learn something.
Really?
We're also supporting the local tourism industry, which hasn't had any tourists. So
Okay, fine. All right, so we'll have a guide.
you have to be pinned so that your Boy George hat stays on. Yes.
So everything we're going to see today appears to be very, very old. These plants down in front of us are 100 years old. That one is. Now I'm pointing at the plant, not Tara.
Sorry.
And this one over here is 200 years old. And apparently the oldest one of them is 1,500 years old. That's very, very old.
So cool. And they only have 2 leaves.
Looks like there's more than 2 leaves though, but that's because the wind has split them up. And because it's been there around for 100 years, you kind of expect it to be like that, busted up a bit.
And this is the male who has pollen, and that's the female who has cones.
They're right next to each other, and they've been right next to each other for a very long time.
Let's hope they still like each other, because they can't exactly leave, can they? When did you get your hat off?
He's a very smart kid.
That is also the national plant of Namibia. It only occurs in Namibia and in southern Angola.
And the national Namibian rugby team, the world famous national Namibian rugby team, has been named after the plant.
Exactly.
I don't think we even said the name of the plant yet.
How do I say it, Beverly? Welwitschia. Mirabilis. Welwitschia mirabilis. It sounds like something from Harry Potter.
Proclaimed a national monument in 1950, these petrified trees were a truly remarkable sight to behold. The enormous trunks that lie here, some up to 45 metres long, are preserved in stone and did not grow in Namibia, but rather washed down from Central Africa in a huge flood at the end of one of the ice ages. The trunks were covered by sand and mud which was so deep that air wasn't able to penetrate, and so instead of decaying, they've been turned to stone and are perfectly preserved. An ancient relic from a land before time.
Look at that, you can see the bark, you can see the rings. Wow, it's so heavy. That's remarkable. You can see the knobs where the branches came out.
That was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, we learned a great deal there. That was amazing.
Yeah, so the guide was complimentary, I suppose, if you like, part of the ticket price,
Yeah,
as it often is.
yeah, which is cool. So I'm really glad she was there. She taught us a lot. Usually we're quite independent with our information gathering, but this time we had the pleasure of somebody who really knows what they're talking about, and it was great. So yeah, to put your hands on something that's old. Just everything in Namibia is just so old and ancient. It's like being in the land before time.
Shall you have a cup of coffee?
Please have a cup of coffee.
Is it breakfast time, buddy?
So Crusoe's staple breakfast at the moment, because it's easy on the road and healthy, gives him all the bits he needs, is some nice full cream preservative-free yogurt with a little bit of fresh fruit puree, a teaspoon of chia seeds and a teaspoon of flax seeds, pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds that have all been milled into a powder.
Yum, yum, little man. Yum, yum. You drive along these roads and you see lots of souvenir stands and all sorts of things going on. But we've just driven past a souvenir stand down here. I don't think anybody's with it, which is a shame, but it looks quite remarkable. And we're going back for another look. Can't just zip past something that colourful. What on earth is that?
I think it's meant to be a giraffe.
A giraffe with a skull of something?
It's a giraffe skull.
That is epic. What can we buy from here?
A piece of plastic?
A bone with some...
Look at that, amazing. They've used plastic to make it colourful. There's some carvings, some sculptures. Bless them, what
Just
fun.
come to say hello. Hello, how are you doing? Are you all right? Wow, look at this. This is cool, isn't it, eh? Check that out. I think that's something we might need in our lives.
I think so too,
It looks great.
doesn't it?
Definitely worth stopping. How much you say?
Yeah?
50.
50?
50. So that's 50, £2.50. I think that's going to look great on our bookshelf at home, isn't it?
I reckon.
Wonderful. Baboons, and we got giraffe, and we got a little, what is that, anteater?
Rhino?
Rhino.
I don't know.
Zebra. That's great.
They are great, aren't
I
they?
love that too. Look at that elephant, man.
Oh, I think we've got to do
How
a bit
much
of
is the elephant? What are we buying, darling?
I don't know, I like the giraffe.
I like the elephant most. The elephant is
An
amazing.
elephant though, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's missing his tusks. He did have tusks.
Well, that's okay. How cool is that? I love stuff like that,
I do
man.
love stuff like that too.
Okay, how much do we spend?
Five quid.
£5. Love it.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, we have an elephant and a funny little thing on board with us
I
now.
think it's a Himba lady.
A Himba lady?
Yeah.
That's so cool because at the beginning of this episode, Crusoe was cuddling the Himba.
Yeah.
So it feels quite fitting that we would get the Himba doll along the road. Brilliant.
Especially because something I am determined to do, I haven't been very good with it so far, but I'll have to do it in retrospect, is to collect something that could go on a Christmas tree from every country that Crusoe goes to with us, so that when we decorate the Christmas tree as a family in years to come, each decoration has a story. Now, I think that's a fitting first Christmas decoration. Purchased in Damaraland, the dolly of the Himba, who Crusoe met when he first came to Namibia when he was 9 months old. Also, I do think $100 Namibian, quite a lot of money for those people. For us, it is equivalent to £5. I'm almost certain that we could have haggled our way down to $20 Namibian for those pieces of art, but it just doesn't feel right. Not at the moment, not now, and not with those people.
Yeah, back in the olden days when I was travelling as a backpacker, part of the adventure would always be haggling the very best, the very lowest price you could get. But I think as I've got older, a little bit older, and I remember saying to my friends on the road, my goodness, he's that old fart, go and spend all that money on something you could have got for 20p. But now I understand it a little bit more, you know. There's some money in the back burner. There isn't a lot of money in the back burner, but there's enough to be able to not be that person that needs everything for 50% of the asking price.
Yeah, exactly. There's enough to spare £5 for a family in Damaraland who's trying to make a living.
Yeah, love it.